Hi, my name is Paul O'Rourke. I'm a former Navy EOD tech. From there, I transitioned into police law enforcement. I was a sheriff's deputy here in St. Charles County, Missouri. And from there, I went on to law school and started working at the prosecutor's office and was an assistant prosecuting attorney, starting in traffic and misdemeanors and working my way up through felonies. Now I do defense work or private practice, but mainly criminal defense. And because of my past experience, I have maybe a different perspective than some other people might have, having worked on both sides of a criminal case or on multiple sides of a criminal case. And so I decided we would start putting together some of these videos to give people my perspective on things. And so the first one we're going to do, which is near and dear to my heart as having 3 younger sons who have, well, 2 of them have their driver's license, the third one's a couple years away, knock on wood, is what to do when you get pulled over. It was something that I just thought automatically, but until my middle son got pulled over, I really didn't realize I hadn't taught him. So the first thing to think about is when you get pulled over, the first thing you're going to see is probably the lights and sirens behind you. And the first thing is take a deep breath, exhale, don't panic, and then turn your signal on and pull over to the right side of the road. Pulling over to the left irritates police officers for a number of reasons. One, it becomes more unsafe for the officers. 2, everybody else is looking for you to be on the right side. They're not looking for the left side. So just pull over to the right. Once you pull over, pull as far to the right as you can so that you make it easier on the officer. And I don't say that because I'm pro law enforcement or not pro law enforcement. I'm saying that because the more an officer is at ease, the less angry he will be, the less likely you are to get a ticket. You may get a written warning or even a verbal warning because you have no idea why he's pulling you over. You probably do, but so this covers all instances. So once you do that, put your car in park. That means the officer kind of gets the understanding that you're not going to just take off as soon as he gets up to the window or to the car. And then the third thing I would tell you to do is put your hands on the steering wheel and leave them there. You don't have to have your hands up or anything else. Just leave them on top of the steering wheel until the officer arrives. And when they get there, they're going to ask you, in Missouri, they're going to ask you for your driver's license and your proof of insurance. And they ask you for the proof of insurance because all the information about the car is on that and who insures it. And it's a requirement in Missouri to have insurance. A little note about that. I keep my insurance card on the driver's visor. And the reason I do that is because if you keep it in your center console in the glove box, you're going to have to go in there and reaching for those things. The officer doesn't know what you're reaching for. He doesn't know if you're reaching for that or a gun or your insurance. Here, there's no question about what I'm getting. After that, I would say be polite. Be polite, but you don't have to be cooperative. And when I say that, I don't mean, no, you can't have my insurance, no, you can't have my car or my driver's license. I'm saying when the officer says, do you know why I stopped you? Do you know why I pulled you over? Do you know how fast you were going? They're asking you those questions because they're hoping to get you to make it what's called an admission of guilt. Because if you know that, then you consciously were doing that. It comes out of your own mouth. And this day and age, many police officers have a body camera. They can use that against you if you decide you want to fight something in court. So what I'm telling you is you be polite, be cooperative, but you don't have to answer any questions. In other words, if the officer asks you how fast you're going, I don't know. Now, I used to be like the ones that would say, well, then I can write anything down, just because it irritated me. The next thing is, beyond being polite, is don't argue with the officer. Even if you intend to fight the ticket, don't argue. You'll lose the argument on the side of the road. And the more you say, the more that officer is going to wait till after the stop is done and write down everything that you said so that they can remember. Because if it does go to court, they're going to have to testify as to what they can remember. Those little notes help them remind who you were and everything else. Um, the officer should leave after they have that discussion with you, and either they're going to come back with maybe nothing, with just your insurance card or your driver's license. They could come back with a written warning, or they come back with a ticket. After that, though, the officer might ask you if there's anything in the car. See, they've conducted the traffic stop at that point, technically. And so your only answer, your only question at that point is, am I free to go? And if they are, then you can tell them to have a nice day, no matter how mad you are, and pull off safely. They may tell you, no, you're not free to go. They want to search your car for whatever reason. My advice is don't consent to any searches, and don't speak to any officers without having an attorney present. It won't help you. And consenting to a search leads down a bunch of different roads that you may not be ready for. If an officer is going to search your car and you're not consenting to the search, you just will have to have that fight in court. You don't do anything to stop them. Just tell them that you're not consenting to the search, and then you'll have to let them search. And if they find something, you'll have to fight it in court, and that's what that's for. I have a ton of stuff that I'm thinking is running through my mind about plain view. Why can they search your car without a warrant? There's a bunch of stuff. We'll do those in later videos. This is just the first one. Basically getting my feet wet and getting me a feel for that. If any of this was helpful, or you like what you're having to see, or you want to see more, please like our Facebook page, like our channel, and subscribe to our channel. I plan on doing more of these.